Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Welcome to Science Deal. I'm your host, Herniel. I hope you're all ready for some learning. Today, we have a very special topic. You may have learned about the brain in your science class, and you have observed that different people have different levels of intelligence. So our question of the day is, what determines intelligence? There are many different types and theories of intelligence. Today, we're going to discuss the causes of intelligence in general. Intelligence, a general term referring to the ability or abilities involved in learning and adaptive behavior. Triarchaic theory of intelligence. Steinberg's theory that intelligence involves mental skills, analytical intelligence, insight, and creative adaptive ability. Theory of multiple intelligences. Howard Gardner's theory that there is not one intelligence, but rather many intelligences, each of which relatively independent of the others. Emotional intelligence. According to Goldman, a form of intelligence that refers to how effectively people perceive and understand their own emotions and the emotions of others, and can regulate and manage their emotional behavior. This is a hot topic in psychology. It is the debate of nature versus nurture. Some researchers support the idea that heredity and genetics, or nature, determines intelligence. Others have found evidence that one's environment, or nurture, determines how smart they are. Our first expert today is Liz, a scientist who supports the nature side of this debate.
Gee, thanks for having me, Herniel. I'm super excited to be on the Science Deal today. What's our topic?
Good question, Liz. We're trying to explain what determines intelligence, and I need your help with heredity, which is one factor that affects the intelligence of an individual.
Sweet, let's go.
Whoa, where are we now?
Well, we're in my science lab where I've studied genetics and behavior, and I found that heredity determines intelligence.
How'd you figure that out?
I've participated in many studies of identical twins that were separated at birth, and in most cases, their intelligence is the same regardless of their environment. This is clearly evidence that their intelligence is somehow coded into their DNA and was passed identically from their parents to the twins. Another interesting fact, adopted children have been found to have IQs closer to their biological mothers, even though they have never met.
That's fascinating. What other experiments have you done?
I did lots of experiments with rats in mazes at UC Berkeley. I taught rats how to navigate through a maze and then mated the ones that knew the maze well. Then I compared their offspring with the offspring of rats who were not taught how to use the maze.
I'm dying to know. What were the results?
The rats with smarter parents were able to learn the maze faster than the rats whose parents were not good at the maze. Therefore, I concluded that intelligence is due to heredity.
But couldn't the parents have taught the children? Aren't there other explanations? Are those results really conclusive of genetic determining intelligence?
If you're suggesting that environment determines intelligence, I do not support that theory. However, my friend and fellow scientist Jen has an opposing view.
We might just have to visit her. Thanks for all the help, Liz. It was great to visit your lab. Stay sciencey.
Hi, Neil. I'm so excited to be on the Science Deal. It was my favorite show as a kid. What is the science topic of the day?
Today's question is, what determines intelligence? And we have just finished talking to Liz about the idea that heredity is the main factor.
Ah, I see. Well, I support that our intellectual abilities depend on what we see as infants, how our parents first respond to us, the school we attend, the books we read, and so on, how you are nurtured as a child, and the environment you grew up in.
What studies were done to support this, Jen?
In Liz's maze, she took a group of the genetically maze-bright and maze-dull rats and put them in plain surroundings. She took another group and placed them in stimulating environments. This experiment showed there was a larger difference between genetically dull and bright rats. The maze-dull rats made up what they lacked through experience and acted like the maze-bright rats. This shows that it was primarily the environment that affected the rats' intelligence.
That makes sense. Thank you for having me, Jen. I understand the nature and nurture sides of intelligence now, but which one is correct? Better go find out. I'm having trouble deciding whether heredity or environment determine intelligence. Let's ask my science hero, William Crozier, about nature versus nurture debate.
Well, Herniel, I think nature and nurture both have an effect on an individual's intelligence. the environment that you experience when you're young has an effect on your intelligence, and also the hereditary factors from your parents play a role. So it's both.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Fraser.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Bill